Welcome to Nerd Positive. This is a Facebook and YouTube live podcast show that celebrates all the things that we feel are awesome in hopes of spreading our fandom to you. After the live show airs, you can find the show on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcast just a little bit later. In the show, we dive deep into the hearts of fandoms to celebrate the things we love. From sci-fi to fantasy, movies to TV shows, comics to video games, we explore the universes that have captured our imaginations and made us lifelong fans. Each each week, episode, whatever, will take you on a journey through the realms of awesomeness. Expect passionate discussion, in-depth analyses, things under the bed, many, many side quests. So whether you're a die-hard enthusiast, yippee-ki-yay, mother, or just dipping your toes in the fandom waters, Nerd Positive is the place to be. I'm the host, the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Buchanan, with me every week, although it's been about a month. I have the unverified twin of Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the eyebrows. The unverified twin of Dave Batista in the head wrinkles. The unverified twin of Carl Weathers in the mustache.
The flavor saver.
Flavor saver. And the unverified twin of Shamar Moore in the nipples.
Yes, sir.
Who are you?
My name is Brian S. Denson. This week, the S stands for the WWE because we're going to catch up light low on the catch up with the WWE and a few other things tonight, my friend. How are you, tag team partner?
Dude, I am fantastic. I am all rested up. We're getting back from injury. We're going after it big. We got a new name.
Boom.
Dude, we are now... What are we now, and why are we doing that? Why are we changing?
You know what? We are no longer the fandemic. You know, we had a rough few years there. Some things were spreading through the air. We had to stay about 6 feet from each other. We all got inoculated, and now we've moved past the fandemic. We got some testing, and good news or bad, we are now completely nerd positive.
Yes, we are. We are very nerd positive. But the real question, are you?
And fair warning, once you're found to be nerd positive, it doesn't go away after 9 months. It sticks with you for life.
For life.
It is. It is.
Kind of like Bad Boys.
for life. They needed Bad Boys versus the NWO. That's what I want. That's what I want.
So cool. Dude, well, we'll get when we get into movies and TV shows. I got some thoughts on Bad Boys.
Cool beans.
So I'm also doing Nerd Positively Reviewed. Again, name swap here. Just recently I've released Inside Out 2. Star Wars comics 44 through 46. Star Wars, the Acolyte episodes 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit too. Bad Boys Ride or Die. This week I got Acolyte episode 5. Please be better. House of the Dragon.
Yes.
Episode 2. And comic episodes this week, dude.
We're gonna delve. I know, and we have to dig into. May have to even have an episode strictly to the Acolyte, because you and I typically are pretty similar on most things. However, the Acolyte is where we kind of take a little bit of a split there. Now I will say you've kind of, I hate to say it, bro, you brought me down a little on the Acolyte, but I still kind of dig it. So
yeah. Well, you know what? Let's do that first. Let's talk a little bit TV.
All right.
Let's get the negative stuff out of the way, so I'm going to be negative about it.
All right. We'll just lead off, okay? Because I've got something I'm really digging. So there's a lot. So this is a great time for our nerd positive type show, because there's 3 or 4 that are really good right now. I will say, of the ones that I view as my faves of the week, Acolyte is on the lower end of that, but I still dig it. But go ahead, tell me your thoughts on the Acolyte, my friend.
It's garbage, man. Like, dude, it has surpassed Andor. It is Andor has lapped it, and here's
really
why, man.
Because
Yeah.
Andor to me is just boring. I don't find the Acolyte boring. Now, you know a lot of the source material much better than I do, but I don't find the Acolyte. Now, there's some logic issues there, and they're definitely, as we have both dubbed him, Creeper Jedi Master Soul. Now,
Yeah.
that's a real thing. However, I will say it at least keeps me awake. Andor, as we used to call it, and snore. I
That's
have hard
true.
staying awake for 20 minutes, that's the full length of the show. But go ahead, bro.
So,
Tear it apart.
man, okay, episodes 1 and 2 I didn't think were that bad. I mean,
Okay.
like we got the great reveal of
Mhm.
Kalneka, who's played by the same actor that played Chewbacca in Solo, was the new Chewbacca.
Okay.
Same
Gotcha.
actor.
Okay.
Great actor. And then we get the story, episode 3, we get the story of May and
And
Osha.
OSHA. Yep.
The entire episode felt like a high school play.
Okay, there's that. It felt, I will say, it felt like a bad episode because I've watched it a couple of times because I kind of came out digging it. Then I
Yeah.
got your feedback and I rewatched it. There's some lack of issues we share, and I'll share in a minute. But it does seem like the Parent Trap with in space. It really does. It really does.
Yeah, man. And then the whole, like, so the first 2 episodes, they made these sisters out to be like loving, want to be with each other, and
Yeah, I can't live life because you've taken the other half of me,
right.
born as two but always one type deal, which
Yeah.
then you get to episode 3 and
And then it's the
no.
power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Cue
Now
bad
you notice
music.
they didn't go to the power of 3 because at that point Charm would have shown up like, look, wait a minute.
Right.
At that point they had to deal with the ghost of Shannon Doherty, which nobody wants.
Right.
But
Exactly.
but they could have Alyssa Milano though. That
You know what?
or Rose
I'm
McGowan.
glad you said that, because that's gonna come into my game for you tonight. You're a little
Okay.
bit.
All right. So anyway, so episode 3 is where they lost me a bit as well, because again, and if you've got the that lovely spoiler alert. So anyway, it's not. So by the way, regardless of our opinion of it, watch the Acolyte. Watch
Yeah.
anything because it's not a bad watch. This is where though it did become where it lost me a bit. So as Brad talked about, the first 2 episodes was really so much about these loving sisters and May and Osha, and which again, a lot of my world, if you get Osha certification, always takes me out just her name. But there's this great loving. By the way, gotta give Carrie Ann Moss for only being in the show for what 10 minutes. Great job out of her.
There's more. I mean, she's in it more.
First episode though was
but right, they killed her off.
Right.
Oh, dude, okay. And then at the end of episode 1, when
at
they
least
showed the
at least there wasn't Neo weeping like Trinity.
Yeah.
Okay.
When their Sith guy was like, "You don't kill a Jedi with steel." Wait, we just killed a Jedi with a dagger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
no, but like, okay, so this
What?
Force sensitive person is kicking the shit out of these masters.
Now Torben's different, so I'll give him Torben.
Yeah.
But in Dara, like, wait a minute, what? Okay, yeah, but please continue.
Oh yeah, I mean that's really. Then we get into that episode 3, man. In that episode 3, dude, it felt like it's a bad high school play.
Even the
With
moms
musical.
took it because there was such pettiness of the moms, even.
Yeah.
And then this is the first time, and I like the fact that the new iterations of Star Wars delves more into the mythos and really making it much more complex than Jedi, Sith, good, bad. That the Jedi's, depending on where you're at, aren't necessarily always the quote unquote good guys. There's different feelings on the Order and all that, and there's controversy within the Order. I actually like that part. The part where it did lose me, and I shared this, is the Jedi's come in very holier than thou. You don't train children and endangers children, and then they hold back and like, wait a minute. You take Padawans at really young ages, and the whole deal. How dare you train these children who are your literal children? But we're gonna take them and train them, and that's the right thing to do. And I'm like,
yeah, but only if it's okay. I mean, like, which is still bad. I mean, it's like, hey, you are the mother and the mother. I know better. Let me train them instead of you raising them.
It just reinforced when Qui-Gon has left Anakin's mom there. Like, look,
Yeah.
we already know this kid is teetering on the Force, and let's leave this mom behind, and like, yeah, we'll leave it a servitude and probably a premature death. But hey, come hang out with us and fly space racers. It'll be good. It'll be
Right.
totally good.
They
Uh,
could have put her in an apartment in Coruscant. Been like,
they really could
dude,
have.
I got a laser sword.
They really could have.
Watto.
And
You're
and she was feeling Qui-Gon a little bit.
yeah.
She
Oh
was,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's Liam Neeson. I mean, how could you
I
not?
mean, yeah, absolutely. She was trying to be taken. All right.
I mean, he does have a set of skills.
Yes. You know what? Maybe at that point, Qui-Gon was living in the gray.
Ooh, well done.
And in fact, had he taken her back to his house and
I
gone
mean,
under the bed, it would have been
in the wardrobe.
non-stop.
Oh
Okay.
man,
All right. That was a reach there. Okay.
as
So Acolyte has some things. And are you up to date? So have you
yeah,
seen
yep.
4?
I will say this: episode 4 was better than episode 3, but then they made this. They made two huge mistakes in episode 4.
Okay. I want to hear 'em.
One, they killed off the freaking Wookiee Jedi
Off
off
screen.
screen.
Off screen. The whole reason I was watching the episode, the whole thing was
And
like, wait, what?
yeah, actually 3 things. And then May decides all of a sudden she's gonna just be a good guy. Then just like
Yeah, had
the
the most dramatic reveal ever.
right.
Like,
Oh well, we pretty much know who the Sith guy is. I mean, I mean, no, I won't say his name right now,
but
but like it's pretty obvious. And 3, they show them talking to the exact Jedi in the Phantom Menace that says that the Sith have been gone a millennia.
Yeah.
And and okay,
And I don't have the depth of knowledge with Star Wars that you have. We've shared this. You're more Star Wars, I'm more Star Trek. But that one even took me out. Like, wait, what? So it was one of those obvious flubs that
right.
just.
And all they had to do is not name him that guy.
Is
Not name.
Filoni attached to this? Because this one takes
No.
a bit. Okay, you can see where that piece is somewhat missing.
Yeah.
Again, I still like it better than Andor. After the first 2, I was thinking this might put it up there with Ahsoka. My favorites are still gonna be I still like Book of Boba a little better. Well, first season of Mandalorian, just because they gave us Grogu. But then then we got the first book of Boba Fett, and then I loved Obi-Wan. I have some friends that really weren't big fans of Obi-Wan.
I liked it.
I personally really loved Obi-Wan. So Ahsoka, and then but this Acolyte is definitely dripping a bit. So only 4 episodes in. I got to give it on our old scale. I got to give it 3.5. It could be better. It also is not horrible.
Yeah.
It could be better. And there's room for improvement, but they did lose me with Mage's. Of all the things, Mage's flipping. As we're gonna talk about WWE tonight, she went from a heel to a baby face without any
reason. Like,
yeah. If it was that serious, why even run away when you see your sister? Yeah, she shot at her and missed on purpose.
Yeah.
Like maybe we go, hey, you know what? My bad.
Right.
And again, still, how does a little bitty fire off a piece of parchment blow up the entire encampment?
And I know they got to get more because they have to, whatever the heinous thing that the 4 Jedi did, has to be. I'm guessing, but there was no laser sword, there was no lightsaber, marks that you could see. I mean, so there's definitely some issues. I get that, and it is what it is, But like, it's also the fact that we are now half done with the show.
We're halfway.
And what is the Acolyte?
Yeah.
What is this show?
Yes.
I mean, the Acolyte is a Sith assassin, right?
Right.
And this, there should have been a very, very little Jedi in this. This should have been.
This should be exploring. This should be exploring the Sith. This is exactly what it should have been.
And that's what it was built out to be at the beginning. At least I thought anyway. Like,
that's the reason I was so excited for it. Is we get instead of the Sith being the enemy of the Jedi, let's talk about the interior motivations of the Sith. right? And again, similar to, some of my favorite moments in Harry Potter were when they would delve more into Slytherin and show some of the convolutions of
Yeah.
Slytherin house and some of the motivation of those folks that were in Slytherin. So like, give me, it's more than just they're bad.
Yeah.
More than this, because again, when you have a series, you could do all those layers
Mhm.
versus in a movie where eventually the good guys kind of got to win at the end, right? The protagonist has
Right.
generally wins at the end, right? So you only have so much time. This, you really could have made it into the Sith, the training, the acolytes. Showing, I mean, they did a bit of that in Obi-Wan.
Mhm.
So I'm like, give me more of that. And you're right, they have it, and we're halfway through.
Yeah. So,
All right.
okay, enough of being negative there. Let's
Okay.
and let me say this, like I said with everything, me saying I don't really like a Star Wars property does not mean I hate it. Does not
Mhm.
mean I'm not gonna watch it. Does not
Right.
mean I'm gonna be a toxic fan. These are my thoughts. If this is your favorite Star Wars, if this the Acolyte is what makes you a fan of Star Wars, dude, that is freaking awesome.
100%.
Let's talk about it.
100%.
Right?
100%.
So, however, on that other mark, now you got the Acolyte, but we also got
Come on,
House
bro.
of the Dragon.
Bro.
Oh,
Bruh. Bruh. Dude. Talk about picking up where you left off and
mm,
actually, I think, being better. I
mhm,
mean, this is the biggest compliment I can give House of the Dragon.
mhm.
It makes me want to watch Doctor Who.
Yeah,
It makes me, with your boy Matt, it makes me want to go. I just
11.
maybe want to catch up with his season as the Doctor.
Mhm.
I maybe kind of wanna, but okay. So we'll just jump to it. Who is your favorite between first season and last season? If it's changed, it's fine. Who is your favorite character? And for those of you that don't know,
Yeah.
House of Dragon, real quick. So House of Dragon is the prequel to Game of Thrones. It takes place approximately 200 years before where Game of Thrones starts. It focuses on the Targaryen rule. So if you don't know the Targaryens, basically the people that ride the dragons, fair skin, blonde hair, and their cousins in a lot of ways. The House Valerian, who
Mhm.
are also dragon riders. They also run the Navy, and guess what? Half of them, if not more, are black. Shocker. And then the battle over the Iron Throne. So this picks up with a lot of those things between House Valerian and House Targaryen and all the things. But do you have a favorite character in
Yes.
season one, season two, and are they maybe the same or are they different?
Um. Well, so my favorite character is Matt Smith, Prince
Mm-hmm.
Damon.
Mm-hmm.
Um. However, I in season one, Queen Rhaenyra.
Yeah, yeah.
Why can't I talk? I liked her younger version, Mia Goth,
Mm-hmm.
more than the Emma D'Arcy. But
Yep, yep.
with that being said, man, like the way, I mean, she only had like what 5 words in this episode,
She had one line, 5 words.
and
Absolutely.
this was
Stole the episode, though. She
yeah,
stole the episode.
yeah. I mean,
The only thing that steals the episode better is the crust of the episode with two dudes named Blood and Cheese. Like, that's the only thing that makes it. That's the only that might trump her. And if you haven't seen the episode, we're not going to spoil too much. But the fact
yeah,
that you had two dudes named Blood and Cheese was like, yeah, that's
and
fair.
that should
That's
be a
fair.
band.
That,
Blood
dude,
and Cheese should be a band.
dude, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like WWE, if you listen, we know you are. If you don't come with a tag team named Blood and Cheese, you're not trying very hard. Go
And
ahead.
we'll even be your Blood and Cheese.
Yes, yes. I want to be managed by R Truth, by the way.
Yes, please. And we will we yes.
I almost sent it to you. I don't want to steal too much time because I'm going to talk about WWE. But the Wyatt Six
Mhm.
debuted on Raw, but there were only 5 members. The sixth one, there's a reason why the sixth one wasn't there. But so they keep playing with, hey,
I saw that.
did you see where they
You go.
Photoshop Truth it as the
Yeah,
sixth member of the Wyatt Six? It
because you
was
can't see him.
yeah, it was like I was like, yes, yes, flipping
Oh,
yes. Oh
oh
my
my
goodness.
god.
He's just yeah, okay. Anyway, back to House.
Yeah.
So Damon was your favorite of season one. I
Mhm.
gotta co-sign that. It was fantastic. And again, Matt Smith kind of makes you want to watch the Doctor. truthfully. Obviously, he's going to be completely different, but he's a hell of an actor, man.
Oh God,
Like,
yeah.
think about this. He actually, in many ways, is creepier than Jedi Master Soul. I'd rather hang out with Daemon Targaryen.
Oh yeah, especially if he likes me.
And if he don't, like,
yep,
like
I'm good. You
I
can
will
send me
promise
to
you, I've never
Master
said the
Soul.
word bastard around him ever. Like,
Yeah.
just don't. That was the best part. That was one of my favorite parts of season 1 when everyone and when he's just like, say it, and the king is like, don't say it. They're like, dude, don't. And he said it, and it was like he got like maybe 2 more seconds of life, and Damon went down. First of all, when your name is like half a syllable away from demon, and people wonder you got anger issues, like really?
Yeah.
Really though. Okay. So what about season 2? Favorite character?
Matt Smith, Prince Damon, dude. Like, I now Emma DRC. Is that how you say it? DRC.
I've heard of Darcy. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like, she was
They.
they. Yeah, they were amazing. Like,
Yep.
you could just see how tense that entire
when she's on the beach and finds the wing and then the cloak. And for those of you who've not seen it, spoiler alert, but this character who is the lead character of the second season, the second episode of the first episode of the second season literally speaks one Matt. I'm just going to name you Matt. Brad said a second ago. It's one sentence with 5 words, and it's so powerful. And you don't notice it until you kind of rewind the episode in your brain, and they have the after show where they talk about it. You don't realize because she's in so much of it that you don't realize that wait, she really only says that one line. It's like but through emotion and tears and all the things shows that acting. I think we all know acting is more than dialogue, but just shows that and the series of events that sets forth. I gotta say though, my favorite in season 2, I think, and he almost edged your boy Damon out for season 1, is Aegon, the One-Eye Targaryen. My goodness,
man, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Everything about him. For those of you who've read the books, I've not, because I don't have 40 pages to talk about how the meat looked, because that's how Martin writes. But I want there to be that Damon,
like once a decade.
Yeah, that Damon Aegon thing, because they're uncle and nephew, right? But they're so damn similar,
and they look alike.
Yeah, they really look alike.
I mean,
like really look alike. Like if I was Viserys, I'd be like, are we really sure? Like Allison might have had a little freaky deaky. And let's also you got to give it up to your boy Sir Kristen Cole. I mean, for being like somebody's jump off, hey, he the heir and the current the heir who's the current queen and the former queen, dowager queen, it's like, all right, bruh. All right, bruh.
Yeah.
You took the virginity of one, and you're the second ever for Allison. Like, but he still managed to be butthurt.
I know.
Still managed to be butthurt. Like, bro, really, dude. Really? Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So you're gonna tune in for House of the Dragon episode 2, obviously.
Yes, sir. As soon as
I'll probably watch it.
With it. Yep.
Me too.
Yep.
Me too.
All right. So I want to get to our crux of this, but I did want to mention a couple quick other things I've been watching. Is I've been watching Bridgerton. Fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
Have you watched any of it? Just haven't watched the most recent season.
Just the newest season.
Okay. I have to say I think it's better than season 2. I'm about 4 or 5 episodes in. I think it's better than season 2. We're not there for season 1, but I think it's got a much more convoluted storyline, which I really like. And then, of course, dude, the flipping boys.
So I'm not caught up. I have to watch The Boys before I can watch Bridgerton. And
How far are
yeah,
you in The Boys? How far?
I haven't started the new season yet. So
At
now
all.
I'm at all. I know. I know. Shame me. Go ahead. Shame me.
It makes me want. I'm not going to spoil anything other than say this: the further Harry Potter went along, the more you understood Voldemort. This season makes you understand Homelander.
Good.
Like I'm not gonna say it makes you a Homelander fan because he's still a psychopath. Like there's a Homelander's still a
Yeah.
Homelander, right? But it also is like, dude, and your boy Carl Urban, and they gave much more of this season to Mother's Milk, so they really focus a lot on that character. And again, they draw those. It's season episode 4, which was the one that just dropped on Friday for us anyway. Um, you understood so much of where Homelander comes from, and also go, he's really got to die. He's really got like you feel, but you feel both empathetic and sympathetic to Homelander, but it also reaffirms like this dude's really got to die. Really got to die. So the
Nice.
only thing I'll leave you with is that when you get caught up, I want to really sit down and unpack. They introduced a new character named Firecracker. I want to really talk about Firecracker.
All right. I will. That will be my homework for next week is to get caught up on The Boys.
4 episodes, but they're all a little over an hour, so you're probably going to close to 5 hours of viewing. And they go fast.
Yeah.
Fast. Really, really good. And thankfully, at least at this point, we've not had a scene worthy of Herogasm.
Okay. Good. A couple movies I just want to talk about
Let's hit it.
really quick. I know Bad Boys 4.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. How is it? Because I
Ride or
want to
die.
check it out, but how would you recommend it or not?
Dude, I want to see it again. So let me know when
Okay.
you want to go.
All right. All right.
I thoroughly enjoyed the shit out of this movie. Bad Boys 4. It's not a deep movie.
None of them have been. Let's be honest. Bad Boys
right.
is not Citizen Kane, which is okay, by the way.
Yeah, it is 100% action.
Mhm.
And there's one part I don't. This is not really a spoiler. Actually, not a spoiler at all because it's in the trailer. There's a part in the trailer where they got the Reba shirt on. They're at the thing. Well, at that point, there is a Reba remix of the Bad Boys theme, and they play it, and it was wonderful. There's 2 cameos in the movie that were freaking beautiful as well. You know the that guy was like, you know, like
Yeah.
he does a cameo.
Nice.
And Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay does a cameo.
Okay.
Yeah.
The dude that blows up everything. The guy that gave us really loud Transformers that all look like Michael Bay. That Michael Bay. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yep. So
okay.
We'll go see that.
So you've given me the inspiration for what we'll do next week. We've not done a countdown in a minute. Let's do our fave buddy movie. That'll be our source for that. So we do our fave 5 and the honorable mentions, but let's do our fave buddy combos.
I love it
in film because we've not done one though, and I can't believe we've not done that. So it'll be our fave movie tag team show.
We got the new Beverly Hills Cop coming out too on July 3rd.
July 3rd.
So that'll be coming up. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I got to talk about Inside Out 2 for a second.
Hit it.
Inside Out 2 is probably the best movie I've seen so far this year.
Okay.
The movie is absolutely
the original
brilliant.
Was fantastic.
Yes.
The original's fantastic.
Dude, like I've watched it twice now. And the second time I actually got more out of it than the first time because just because you're thinking like this is exactly how I see anxiety and joy like going. I mean, it's just like every part of that movie is meticulously thought out, and it was just wonderful to watch. So
I love the first one so much, and one of my side hustles is I teach, and I have in multiple classes shared that if you know a kid, love a kid, remember being a kid, and it works for adults too. But if you want a good way for kiddos to understand the complexity of emotions that people have, just sit him down in front of Inside Out, and Inside Out too. Sound like it's kept
Mhm.
he's kept the ball rolling with that. But the way that they just handle so things and show that you know what, you don't always have to be happy, and that's okay. That sadness has a point in our
Mhm.
lives. Because we live in a world now that's like, oh, everybody's got to be all great, happy, shiny. You know, if your social media isn't full with you winning at life, then something's got to be wrong. No, so I Inside Out, and not to mention, I personally love Bing Bong. I'm like, that's who I am. But I just love the movie so much. I'm so glad to hear. And because you know, that's one of the things we talk about in pandemic and on their positive world is, you know, a lot of times you make a sequel, you stop at one. You make a
Mhm.
trilogy, you stop at two. So it's so often to go, wow, they had a great thing going,
Yeah.
and it would have been easier, I bet you, to go backwards with Inside Out 2, and the fact that it sounds like they at least it is just as good, if not better, than the original. And I trust your instincts on that, bro.
Mhm.
That is fantastic. My only question is, did you see it with Leia?
I did. I
And
did.
what
I
were her
saw it
thoughts?
with she loved it. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, she loved it a lot. Also this coming this week, I'll be watching Quiet Place Day 1
Yes.
and Horizon the American Saga Chapter 1. I'll be
Oh,
watching that
okay.
one as well.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
gotta
And
see some
remember,
Kevin Costner.
with day one, we always got to acknowledge.
The
I
Tribal
got.
Chief.
By the way, because we're getting ready to turn our WWE stuff.
Oh, dude, let's get into it.
Did you first up before we go there? Did you see SmackDown on Friday?
Yes.
Okay, so let's hop into WWE and talk about some stuff, my friend.
Let's do it. Okay, so
All right.
since it's been a while,
Mm-hmm.
we both love the WWE.
Yes, sir.
Now, there's been some big things that have happened in this last week.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and take it away?
All right.
I am not as familiar with Wyatt's family,
Okay.
Bray Wyatt's family,
Yes,
as
sir.
much. Besides just like the YouTube that I've
Yes, sir.
done. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
like he's been there, but like when he was huge, I wasn't huge in WWE, if that
He
makes sense.
was one of the better parts of a down period of the WWE.
Yeah.
And then, and not to play revision history, especially RIP to Wyndham Rotunda or Bray Wyatt, as you call him. There were parts that even that character was a little much. I mean, we live in again, okay. So no one get in the comments go, well, you know, it's this, you know that. Yes, we are fully aware. We're grown-ups, right?
Mhm.
But the other part of it is you can movies are predetermined and people love them. You ever been to a play and dug it? All right. So that always bugs it. Well, you know, it's this. By the way, it's not fake, it's predetermined, it's choreographed. It is not
Mhm.
fake. Because I've met wrestlers and I've talked to enough of them to go, hey, when you get hit with a chair, you fall off a 20-foot ladder, you feel it.
Yeah.
Okay. So whatever. All right. So, you know, again, say it with your chest, but that one doesn't quite fall in with me. So we'll just jump to, so we saw a couple different legit families, meaning families that you're born into, as well as families you choose, kind of develop over the last week or so, on between one on Raw, one on SmackDown. If you're not fans of the WWE, Raw is their Monday night show, SmackDown is their Friday night show. All right. So real quick in there to give you a history lesson is Wyndham Rotunda, who is the son of a wrestler named Mike Rotunda, wrestled as a character named Bray Wyatt for many years. Wyndham Rotunda passed away, I think, in 2022.
1 or 2. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's been fairly recent. I don't think it was last year. It may have been last year, but between 2022 2023, he passed away. So over the past several weeks, when watching WWE programming, there would be a QR code that would show up, and if you clicked on, it would take you to these really quizzical, kind of prophetic things, and some of it would be a countdown of what we were going to get. And what we wound up getting as a big payoff was the debut of what is called the Wyatt Six. Now, let me explain how that looks. So, Wyatt, named after Bray Wyatt, and then six, which is spelled SICK, so like being sick, being
Mhm.
ill, and then the number six. So, the Wyatt Six. So far, we've seen 5 members of the Wyatt Six. So, the leader of the Wyatt Six, as far as we can tell, is a character by the name of Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy was introduced when Bray Wyatt was still alive as kind of his mentor. The person that is playing Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas, or at least a wrestler formerly known as Bo Dallas, who is legitimately Bray Wyatt or Wyndham Rotundo's brother. Okay, so he's going to be the leader of the Wyatt Six. The only person, because of how their makeup and mask that they wore, the only person that was readily identifiable was a person by the name of Nikki Cross. Also, if you follow Nikki Cross on socials like I do, she actually after the show, like, hey, I'm the, blah blah, which we kind of tell. Of the other members of the White Six, you probably have uh uh um Eric Rowan, who was a member of the previous incarnations of the group known as the Wyatt family. Probably a guy by the name of Joe Gacy. There's talk of Dexter Loomis. These are lesser known wrestlers, primarily in NXT, that have been brought up. And then probably the missing member, the one that they kind of photoshopped to be R-Truth, is most likely going to be Sister Abigail, who was the other member of the Wyatt family, and that person was played by Alexa Bliss. Now, Alexa Bliss has been out on maternity leave, so my guess is why she's not back here. But I think that's what we'll get with that, which is great because for in all the great emotional ways they played tribute to Wyndham Rotunda, they played tribute to Bray Wyatt. They had the lantern, they blew it out, and they said, "We're here." Now, this is what I think we're going to get. Because I know a lot of what we want to do is not playing cat or what we think is going to happen next. So one of the big things when Bray Wyatt and the various versions of the Wyatt family were around, where they had what we call the Fireflies, which, and by the way, I meant to look it up. I forget the artist that did the theme song for the Wyatt family. It's a fantastic song. But fans would literally, they would lower the lights and fans would just have their cells up and you would see cell phone lights, and Bray Wyatt dubbed that as Fireflies. There's another wrestler who has taken over the Fireflies in his entrance, and that's your boy, the main event himself, Mr. Yeet, Jey Uso. So, Bradley, you and I were texting back and forth, like, if the Wyatt Six are gonna, and they're probably gonna be heels, they're gonna be bad guys. Who do they look at? They debuted after Jey Uso's match. So my thought is we're gonna get at some point the Wyatt Six and your boy Jey Uso. What are your thoughts?
You know what? I like it. I really liked his promo. Did you see his promo?
Yes.
And he's
Basically,
like,
hey,
I
don't
want
want no smoke. Don't want
you
no smoke.
have
I'm good.
Fireflies.
I'm good. You can
Fire,
have
you
them
can
back.
have
Hey, I'm
fire. Yep,
good.
all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that. And I don't want to see them go after main event because I think that Jey Uso is going to be part of the fractured bloodline.
Oh,
I think it's the
100%. Yeah,
bloodline civil war, and I don't think
and I
he
think
can
that's
do
one of the
both.
reasons why we haven't seen Jay like win a singles title yet. And we'll talk about Money in Bank here in a minute. But I think that's one of the reasons why they haven't pulled the trigger, even though he's extremely popular. Why you've not seen him win a singles title yet is they're trying to maybe keep him free for. And what we saw on Friday, which I get here in a minute, I think that totally leads to we're gonna have, like I said, a split bloodline, kind of like the NWO. You had the Wolfpack in Hollywood. I think we're gonna get two versions of the bloodline. Hopefully, it'll only last for like a few weeks, and then we'll have one bloodline again. But totally, he and Jimmy are gonna be part of that. So, but yeah, so you're right. Whatever they do, if they bring him into it, I hope it's quick as far as his interaction with the Wyatt Six. But I do think just with the timing and the Fireflies, it makes sense. But yeah, go ahead.
And I think also that there was a reason why they showed Chad Gable
Yes,
beaten
to
in
a
that.
pulp, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think there was a reason for that. So see, and this is so you can show that being done off screen. You
Yeah.
cannot show a Wookiee being slain off
Off
screen.
screen.
No.
Not when that's what everybody wanted to
No.
see. Yeah, not
No.
when you end with him doing him using the force power, like, oh my God, and then all we see is like, and then 2 episodes later, he's just kind of chilling over in the corner. Like, how do you do that? This is where I've used to say this, because this is one of the people when the WWE was at its low point, that all these movie writers write for the WWE, they might need to get a WWE writer to write some of the acolyte. Like, why would you do it off screen?
That is a great idea. And you know what, Acolyte writers? I've read all the comics. I know about all the books in the High Republic. We're available. We can do this. We can do this.
Do it for a rate. We'll
Stay
do it for a rate.
nerd positive.
We got you.
Stay nerd positive.
We got you. You got you. I do it for lunch with Carrie Ann Moss. Not even gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm hey, me too.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
You get steep.
We are cheap, but we are so good. All right.
That's right.
So then you had that, and then the other piece of it, before I want to ask you some questions, my friend, is so then on Friday night SmackDown, and this is the deal. This shows you how good the WWE is at this point. So this hit me the other day. If you look at the WWE right now, from both the men's and women's rosters, they're not at full strength. They're not also
No.
with some of their biggest stars. So you look at the women's roster right now. There's no Alexa Bliss yet. There's no Charlotte Flair, and there's no our girl Rhea Bloody Ripley. There's no mommy.
Yeah.
So and no Becky Lynch. So four of their top female competitors are not on television at all for various reasons.
And Nia Jax has been really quiet too.
Yeah, they do anything with Nia and Tiffany Stratton.
Mm.
Not sure where that's going yet, but I'm here for Tiffy time anytime, so that
Yeah,
works.
sure.
Yeah. Hey, gotta give Liv Morgan. I mean,
She's carrying it.
she 100% is carrying it. She's carrying her not only her title, but also really carrying the Judgment Day at this point.
Oh
So
yeah.
and
Oh
give
yeah.
Dom some love. Give Dom some love. Dom has
Man,
developed so well. Like,
he
hey,
has.
you're doing your dad some justice here. You know, he was never gonna be Ray. I mean, he's taller, he's thinner. He hadn't done the juice that Ray's done because that's Ray's got a
Mhm.
history of that. But he leads, and I saw this. By the way, I don't know if you watched this, but A&E has a biography on your boy Rob Van Dam tonight as well.
I just saw that.
Okay,
I need to watch it. I haven't
but
watched it.
but there's actually a quick interview that Ray talks about. Dom is more Eddie as far as his in-ring personality than Ray. He goes just so when when Eddie was a heel. He goes, the best heel version of Eddie is who Dom reminds me of. I'm like,
Mm,
damn, I can see it. Okay.
that's right.
But with that being said, on the men's roster, he just came back, but forever we've not had Seth Rollins.
Mhm.
CM Punk is on the shelf with an injury. Drew McIntyre's been on the shelf a lot with an injury. And of course, put up again the ones we're missing your boy Roman Reigns.
Mm,
Um, and it's still hitting on all cylinders. And SmackDown was a great version of that. So first off, in Chicago was a hot crowd to begin with, and they start off with CM Punk, and then they did all the things, and then they have Punk. They reintroduced blood enough, not a lot, which again, because like A&W looks like someone like it looks like a slaughterhouse every week.
mhm.
But they had the whole blood, and you had Drew and all the things there, and then of course we get to the end of the show, and you've got Cody and versus Solo Sikoa, the bloodline. And they did exactly what they should do. Because a lot of people are like, this bloodline is nothing without Roman Reigns. We want Roman. We hear that all the time. And then they held their water. And you've got Solo, you've got the Tongans, and you got Randy, you got KO, you've got Cody, and Solo looking like very much a Roman Reigns type thing. Like, oh, you think you got me, right? Then they gave us your boy Jacob Fatu, and they held that until the last moment. So now you've got a 4-member bloodline with Paul Heyman looking terrified, and they took out Cody, and Cody did the best thing that Dusty did so well, which is as a babyface, as a popular champion, you got to get your teeth kicked in sometimes to
Mhm.
get that sympathy when people dig you. So that was a great part of SmackDown on Friday. And I knew we had a visitor who was eating
Salad.
something. Oh, a salad. Okay.
All right, dude. So we're talking about wrestling right now. Who's your favorite wrestler?
I have 3.
Oh,
All
you
right.
got
Who are your
you got
3?
headphones?
Sure.
Okay.
Why do you have that so big? You have a big head.
It's because your father has a big head. It's fine. But all right. Who are your 3 favorite wrestlers, Princess?
Sasha Banks, Liv Morgan, and Alexa Bliss.
Okay. So Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan. But do you know Sasha Banks doesn't go by Sasha Banks anymore? She goes by Mercedes Moné. Yep. Yep. So do you watch AEW so you can see Mercedes?
No. Because that's not Sasha Banks.
But she's still your favorite. Fair. Fair. Okay. Do you know who Sasha Banks' cousin is?
Snoop Dogg.
He is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Perfect. All right. Let me talk to your dad and enjoy your salad.
Thank you. Well, it's technically just lettuce with ranch.
That's still a salad.
I know, but it's weird how people put anything else but lettuce on it.
Like
Like my mom.
what's weird that your mom puts on the salad?
Cabbage.
Like cabbage and lettuce, or cabbage instead of lettuce?
No, like those little purple things.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
The
So that's
salad mix.
yeah. Okay, I feel
Yeah,
you.
that.
Okay, all right, salad mix. Okay, all right. We'll get your dad back the headphones.
But he has a big head.
He does. You said to get back the
Go
headphones.
bye.
Okay, bye bye.
How bye, princess?
See if we can. Oh, apparently I got a big head. So,
Bruh, we have about the same size head, so whatever.
yep, exactly.
I mean, at least you have a hat to at least to explain it a little bit more.
Exactly. But yes, man. Where were we on the wrestling?
We're talking about with Jacob Fatu and the new bloodline.
That's right, bloodline.
And that's setting that up totally for at some point we're gonna get Jimmy Uso back. We're gonna get obviously the Rock and Roman back, especially because I'm thinking maybe SummerSlam I think might be a little premature, just by the fact you've already got a bunch of things coming at SummerSlam that Survivor Series. Also, it's a good way to maybe have, let's say, like what if we had a War Games match that fits the theme of Survivor Series, right?
And if you get Cody in there somehow, that would make a lot of sense.
Let's talk that through. So, okay, so let's assume that assume that Roman Reigns comes back, and his bloodline would be Roman and the Usos. You've got 3 people over there, and then you get the current bloodline that's been around. You've got Solo, Jacob Fatu, and the Tongan. So you've got 4. So they would need a 4th.
There is somebody else that Roman claims as a brother.
Are you talking about the People's Champ?
I'm talking about Seth freaking Rollins.
You could do that. I do think at some point the Rock's going to show up. And they've done such a great job with making Solo the leader. Now he's not the leader Roman was. He's not going to be. Yeah. But I do think at some point, and remember, the Rock said next time he comes back, he wants a one-on-one match with Cody. So that is coming as well. I got to give them, again, I think the WWE is hitting on all cylinders there. So what I wanted to do was ask you was a couple of things. So I did a quick rundown of the current champion. I'm leaving the women's tag belts out because that's such a very small roster of who challenged for those titles. But I want to go who you think potentially would be the person to beat each one of these from their current champions out. So let's start off here. So we'll start with Raw. So on Raw, the current World Heavyweight Champion, the men's champion, is Damian Priest. Who do you see beating Damian Priest?
Man, I really like him as the champion, but I do see I think the next champion over there is going to be Gunther.
I agree, and I agree for a couple of reasons. Number one, he won King. They want to make King of the Ring feel important, which I think the tournament felt way more important this year. And with them having the title match at SummerSlam, number one, I think Gunther will be a great champion. I think he's a favorite of Triple H, as is Damian Priest. But also, I don't know if you looked at their schedule. Shortly after SummerSlam is Battle of Belfast, which will be held in Gunther's home country.
Yeah,
so you have Gunther walking in as champion. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
I agree with you. The Women's World Championship currently held by your girl Liv Morgan.
I think she's gonna hold on to that until Rhea Ripley comes back.
Rhea Ripley, 100%. But I love what they're doing with the Liv and Dom and her and him calling her calling him daddy, all the things there. And let's just be honest, from a grown-up to grown-up standpoint, if they book where Liv Morgan gets pushed off the apron, she lands on my lap and it kind of hangs out there for a little bit. And I'm paid for this, right? I'm paid.
Yeah.
I'm paid.
100%.
I'm paid.
100%.
I'm paid.
Yeah, as long as we can record it.
Yeah, I'm paid, but I'm paid though. At that point, he had to go back to Ray to his dad and go, "Hey, Dad, guess what I get to do?" And Ray had to be like, "Wait a minute, I got powerbombed off of ladders and through chairs,
And you get Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan.
You had Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. By the way, if you've not, Google Dominic Mysterio's wife. My guy, he's living his best life. He is living his best life. Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn. Who you think knocks him off?
You're right. Holy cow! I just looked up his wife.
Yes.
All right. So you said
Anyone that's hating on Dominic Mysterio, hey, my guy, whatever he's doing well. Okay.
there's a reason why he's smiling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you, Dom? Do you, sir? Do you,
Yep.
sir?
Oh, you said so. You said Intercontinental.
Yep. So we got Sami Zakura champ. Who you think Big Sami's in?
You know what? I think we are gonna. You know, they're pushing Dragunov a lot. I think
Yep.
Dragunov is gonna.
Okay.
I would say Ricochet because I love Ricochet, but WWE, I am not happy about this
No.
at all.
Now he asked for his release. Come on now. That's to be fair, he asked for it.
Yeah, because
You know,
they
they
wouldn't do
didn't
anything
release
with him.
Yeah, they weren't.
They
weren't.
weren't.
And he's really good friends with Will Ospreay, and Ospreay has been very vocal on social media saying Ricochet, come here. Now, personally, if I think he's engaged to
Mhm.
Samantha Irvin. I don't know if I'd, hey, there are benefits to being on. There's benefits to being over there. And I'm not a big fan of AEW, to be honest with you. They've got a lot of talent. I don't think they maximize their talent at all.
Agree.
But that's probably where he's winding up. He'll be. They've also got, as much as we criticize sometimes the WWE having too many titles, the AEW titles make no. They have an international champion and a continental champion and an FTW champion, and all these titles. Like, I don't get. Well, and they don't mean anything. Versus, I think the WWE now is trying to make their titles mean something. I got to say, in my opinion, I think Sammy's losing most likely to Braun Breaker.
Yeah, there we go. I like it.
Breaker also, if you look at just for a match that'll be well done, Breaker's really good. I don't know if you caught Raw, but that moment where he speared Ludwig Kaiser, where he ran from the other side of the ring, and obviously Kaiser was not going to try and set a land speed record, but still Breaker had to zoom and then hit
26
that
miles per hour or some shit like that.
and they legit clocked him doing a rope that fast. He can't sustain it, but who could? But for a short burst, and for him to hit that spear, like, and I still say Scott Steiner's his real baby daddy. I will go down with that one. But given that Sammy has a great job, has a really great skill at selling, Breaker and all the things he can do, 100%. I think Breaker beats. I wish it would be Chad Gable. I'm a big Chad Gable fan. I think he's the closest we'll get to Kurt Angle for a very long time, but at least not right now. And they brought up Chad's had 5 chances between Gunther and Sammy at the Intercontinental title that he didn't win. They're gonna move forward, and I can see Braun Breaker just spearing the hell out of Sami Zayn and winning the IC title.
Man, dude. The Braun Breaker Sheamus match was amazing. That was such a great match.
I mean, they're set up, at least from the men's roster. The women's roster was coming NXT. I have a little bit of suspect, unless you have a few like Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, but the men's roster is incredibly deep. Between Breaker and Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes. I mean, they've got so much talent. And then that leads us to, I think, our favorite champions, but, probably going to have them, though, moving forward here sooner than later. The Awesome Truth. Miz and you. I just don't want them to break up the team because but who do you see beating the Awesome Truth for the tag belts?
The Hardy Boys, they're gonna come back.
They're the Hardy Boys gonna come back.
They're the only team I want to. I want to take over the tag team titles. The Hardy Boys will come back and take it over. No, in let's see here. I think
that's the hard part because on Raw they don't have that next team up counted. I mean, they've had AOP. Because it'll be a heel team. So I try to think on who would it be. The Final Testament should be so much better than they are.
They kind of suck.
They do. I mean, number one, have Karrion Kross shave his head. With the hair, he just looks like everybody else. He looked different when he had the head shaved and he showed off the tats more. Same deal with Scarlett when she was a blonde. It just made her more noticeable with the dark hair. I'm kind of like, who is this? First of all, when you look like Scarlett, they should never say anything like, who is this? Paul Ellering is like 112 years old, but he's kind of just there. And I think he could do more. I would love to see if AOP got some love there, but that probably isn't happening anytime soon. But You look
Yeah.
at and maybe it's the Creed brothers again. They have
I'd
talent.
be okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the uh authority. What's Shaggy? It was the
Mm. Alpha Academy.
Alpha Academy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they're kind of done. I mean,
Yeah, at
Otis is
least
going to
for a
come
minute,
off.
at least for a minute. And Akira Tozawa has all the cat talent in the world, but they got to figure out, are they going to make him and Otis a tag team? Are they going to have are they going to have Tozawa? It killed all the stuff with Tozawa. It's one thing for Otis to carry Maxine away with an injured leg, for him to also just carry Tozawa away after
Yeah.
Tozawa was just slapped. He didn't take a suplex; he was slapped, and he needs to
Yeah.
be carried to the back. Like, bruh. So maybe we get us. Maybe I think it's time for Tozawa to go down to NXT.
I know it's kind of like one of those things where you just change your mind on a drop of a hat, and all of a sudden you're not a villain, you're a good
Yeah,
guy, and you're
yeah.
going to turn yourself into a Wookiee Jedi, and and then go and I
You're not
it's
going to forgive him for that, are you? And you shouldn't.
I mean it's I, you may I I don't know.
All right. Now on the other side of it, then on the SmackDown side, I'm gonna go from the bottom to the top. So A Town
Alright.
Down Under, who are the current tag champs, who you see beating A Town Down Under, at least anytime soon.
Let's see here.
Do you think it'll be DIY? Because that's kind of what they're talking about. Do you think it'll be
Dude,
DIY?
I'm for that because they were doing something on SmackDown or on Raw, and they're underused on SmackDown. It's
Very
time they give
talented.
them
Yep.
something,
Yep. Very, very talented.
Although I prefer the Regeneration X,
I
but
do as
we're
well.
not gonna get it.
I do as well. My only thing with DIY that sometimes gives me pause is sometimes it's like they're waiting to pull the trigger on Ciampa versus Gargano because they have such great chemistry when they
Mhm.
feud, kind of like Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Again, back to Regeneration X. Like there's always that every time there's anything, like you look at Ciampa and like, is he gonna, and then he doesn't. But there's that. I'd be cool with DIY though. I think they can also benefit from the belts, even though I really
Oh
do
yeah.
like A Town Down Under, especially Grayson Waller. I don't know why. I love me some Grayson Waller. The U.S. Championship, I think the writing's on the wall, but I'll just throw it out there to you. Who do you think beats Logan Paul?
Man, it's got to be KO.
Not LA Knight.
Oh
You,
yes, I'm sorry. Yes,
okay.
LA Knight.
Yeah.
LA Knight is getting a belt. LA
Yeah.
Knight is
And
getting a
it's
belt.
overdue. It's overdue.
Yeah.
Women's champion Bailey. Do you think she gets past Nia Jax at SummerSlam? Or do you think she beat?
I mean, man, they keep not giving Nia Jax the belt.
Yep.
And you got Liv on one side, so I
Yep.
think Bailey. Yeah, Bailey's losing the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Bailey's losing the belt. Nia
Yep.
Jax. I'll take that all day.
And then I don't think it happens anytime soon. But who do you think beats Cody Rhodes?
Who do I think? I think let's go with. I really want to see Orton get another belt and make it a legacy match.
Absolutely. The fans don't want to boo Randy Orton, but I think you could do a face versus face match. I think this one time that could work. But I totally get them. Now here's my question then. Do you think not Orton, I'm so sorry, Cody. Do you think Cody loses the title before WrestleMania, or do you think he gets to WrestleMania 41 as champion?
I think he's going to get to WrestleMania as champion.
I agree with you, and I think it's given the writing on the wall. I think at 41, we're gonna get Punk versus Rollins, which we should have got last year, but they were legit injuries. I get that. I think we get Rock, Roman, and I think we get Cody. And I think, given the current roster, I think the best potential opponent for him would be Randy Orton. And he might even get past Orton, but I agree with you. If I had to pick someone to beat Cody right now, it would be Randy.
Yeah.
All right. So last question I got for you, my friend, which is twofold before we play our game, which is, given the current roster, I'm going to take the women's tag champs because they just won the title, so I don't think it's fair to put Dawn and Fire in this. But of the eight current champs that they have: Damian Priest, Liv Morgan, Sami Zayn, Awesome Truth, A-Town Down Under, Logan Paul, Bailey, and Cody Rhodes. Who is your favorite champion out of that group?
Man, I want to say Cody Rhodes, but
But come on,
it's the awesome truth.
I know, and not with the awesome truth, but let's be
Do you-
real. Who is it?
it's our
It's
truth,
our
man.
truth. It's our
Man,
truth.
like you, our truth is the best. He's my favorite wrestler right now. I mean,
He just for charisma. He's in his
dude,
50s.
man,
Just
yeah.
and he doesn't miss. It will be so easy for a comedy-based wrestler to to annoy the audience,
Hmm.
and he does it with little bits. Like he doesn't do too much. It's a quick little things like, hey, he talked to Braun Strowman, but he said it was Andre the Giant. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Calling DIY regeneration, or really DX. He thought they were
Hmm.
Triple H and Shawn Michaels. My favorite thing ever was right after Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest became champions. They're like holding the belts they brought to the Judgment Day right after WrestleMania, and here comes R-Truth right there with them. Like those little things are just and he is the best follow on social media.
Oh God,
Just of
yes.
he is just he and Jay Uso are fantastic follows.
Mhm.
So then given that those are your favorite, other side of the spectrum, my friend,
Yeah.
of the current 8 champions, not counting
Hmm.
Dawn and Fire, the women's tag champs, who is your least favorite champion?
My least favorite,
Mhm.
probably, probably the tag champions in SmackDown.
A Town Down Under.
A Town
Okay,
Down Under. Yeah,
I got you. And I
yeah,
will say that's probably me as well. Either them or Bailey, just because I think it's time for Bailey to drop the belts. I don't think they're bad champions, but they have
yeah.
such strong champions in Priest and Cody and Liv Morgan. And I maybe even put Sami Zayn on that. 'Cause I think it's time. I think of all these, my guess is Sammy's probably the first. Because I think Sammy is. I think if Sammy defends that Money in the Bank against Braun Breaker, which I think he will do, I think Breaker beats him for the title at Money in the Bank. So I think he'll lose his title before we get to SummerSlam, where I can see both Damian Priest and Bailey
Mhm.
dropping their belts. So I think Sammy's most likely the first one to lose. And Sammy is. I think I'm glad to see him getting some run as a champion, but Sammy's sympathy comes from him chasing the title, right? So
Yeah,
as
that's a great
champion,
point.
that's similar to similar to Dusty Rhodes, similar to Stone Cold. Stone Cold never had long title runs.
Mhm.
Because what got us as fans for Stone Cold Steve Austin was him chasing the championship. So he never had long runs as champ because we love seeing him chasing and have that moment of stunning the
Yeah,
hell out of somebody
he
and
was a
winning.
hunter. He was
He's a
just a
hunter.
hunter. Yeah.
He is a hunter. So with that being said, sir, now let's move to this one. I think you may have one for me, but Bradley, would you like to play a game?
We're here.
Sir. All right. So what I'm going to do, I have a new game for us this week. It's going to be same plot, new characters. So as we were chatting before we went live, I want to explain to the audience what same plot, new characters is. So same plot, new characters, I'm going to give you the plot of a well-known movie. And I'm going to change the name of the character to the name of the character that's actually in the movie, while it's the same actor using characters they played in other films. So the best way I can discuss this is if you watch The Last of Us that stars Pedro Pascal, instead of going by the name Joel, I will use the name Mando from The Mandalorian. So with that being said, I'm going to give you the plot of a
Okay.
movie, and your mission, if you choose to accept it, I know you will, is to tell me if you can name the movie once I get done explain. And as always, I will give you 3 guesses. Are
All
you
right.
good,
Sounds
sir?
good. I'm ready.
All right, so here we go. Same plot, new characters. Professor X, without his powers, is working through his daddy issues. Along the way, his best bud Star Lord breaks bro code on top of being a cheap ass. Professor S continues to struggle at life. He's broke, unemployed, and can't even go to the grocery store without having drama. Speaking of drama, while trying to sort his life out, he runs into Laura Croft from Tomb Raider, who goes from flirting with him to beating his ass. In the middle of these mixed signals, Cassian, the bald bodyguard from John Wick Chapter 2, and Red from the Shawshank Redemption want Professor X to apprentice as a bug exterminator. The professor has got to feel like he has different personalities, just like he did in Split. Everything from riding the train to work to just taking a cab comes with a really weird curve. What's the movie? And if you want me to read it again, I'm more than happy to.
All right, one more time.
Professor X, without his powers, is working through his daddy issues. Along the way, his best bud Star-Lord breaks bro code. On top of being a cheap ass, Professor X continues to struggle at life. He's broke, unemployed, and can't even go to the grocery store without having drama. Speaking of drama, while trying to sort out his life, he runs into Laura Croft from Tomb Raider, who goes from flirting with him to beating his ass. In the middle of these mixed signals, Cassian, the bald bodyguard from John Wick Chapter 2, and Red, the character from The Shawshank Redemption, want Professor X to apprentice as a bug exterminator. The professor has gotten to feel like he has different personalities like he did in Split. Everything from riding the train to work to just taking a cab comes with a really weird curve. What is
All
the
right.
movie?
Okay, I thought I had it, and then once I went back through, I was kind of checking it off. You got me on curve. It's Wanted.
Ding, ding, ding. All right, so
Well done.
I'll unpack the clues. Professor X played by one of the
James McAvoy.
Played by one of the multiple actors, James McAvoy. Also, we see him as Professor X without his powers. He goes through his daddy issues. If you know the movie Wanted, you'll get that reference. Along the way, his best buddy. So this was an early movie with Chris. Oh, geez, what is his last
Chris
name?
Pratt.
Chris Pratt. So this is post Parks and Rec. You see him kind of getting more to the shape that we know Chris Pratt as, but he played his best buddy in that. And also in that movie, he is cheating on. He is absolutely cheating with the McAvoy character's girlfriend. He's broke. He's unemployed. By that point, he winds up running into Angelina Jolie, who a lot of people maybe know from Lara Croft Tomb Raider. And when he joins the fraternity, other members of the fraternity is the gunsmith, who is played by Common, who also played Cassian, the bald bodyguard in John Wick Chapter 2, as well as Morgan Freeman, who played Red in The Shawshank Redemption. And we see scenes where he is trying to ride on top of a train, where he is in a cab. He develops different types of personality, Split reference as well. And the weird curve, because one of the big things in this is him being asked to curve a bullet and to shoot the wings off of flies, aka being a bug exterminator. My friend, very, 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 very good job. Good job,
Thank
sir.
you. All right. Now, my game for you,
Okay.
we're going to play Guess in 10. And this
Guess
is going to
in
be
10. Okay.
Yep, guess the TV show in 10. And this is by 10 of its guest celebrities that came on the show. All right.
Wow. Okay, my head goes, if you're talking like Law and Order or Bones, I'm like, oh my goodness, the guest stars they've had. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Number 1.
Is there?
Millie Bobby Brown.
Okay.
Number 2. Earlier you were talking about Charmed. Well, here's 2 of the power of 3, because the power of 2 was only beaten by the power of many. Alyssa Milano and Holly Marie Combs. And I put them together as one because they were in the same episode as sisters.
Really? Okay.
Okay. 3. Christina Ricci was a guest
Ooh.
on the show.
Ooh, okay.
Mandy Moore.
Guest star or star with Mandy Moore.
Guest star.
Okay.
So like, maybe one or maybe a couple of episodes. Most of these were only like one episode.
Okay.
One of these people was in this for several episodes throughout a couple of seasons, but was never a full star.
Okay.
And I'll let you know who that is when we get there.
Okay.
All right, so we got Millie Bobby Brown, Alyssa Milano, Holly Marie Combs, Christina Ricci, Mandy Moore, Demi Lovato.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato or Demi Moore? Which Demi are you more of a fan of?
Depends on the movie. If we're watching striptease, I mean,
Okay, real quick, just to take us off on a quick tangent. I snuck into striptease because I forgot what movie was also out. I went and saw that movie, and striptease. I was leaving the theater, and they had a poster, and we all know the poster of Demi and striptease, right? We're sitting with the leg off, and that had just started, and like no one was like around, so I just walked into it. I watched striptease like back to back. I came out like I went to like a matinee on like a Saturday, and I can't remember the name of the movie I saw because obviously the movie made a big impression with striptease. But I remember I watched that movie and then watched back to back showings of striptease. And I didn't watch for Burt Reynolds, by the way. That I came out, it was like 9:30 at night. The sun had gone down. I was like, this is life. And so I love me some striptease. Horrible movie, but has
right.
other benefits going for it. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Next up, after Demi Lovato.
All right. So John Cho.
From Harold and Kumar?
Yep. So Millie Bobby Brown, Alyssa Milano, and Holly Marie Combs.
Okay.
Christina Ricci.
Okay.
Mandy Moore.
Okay.
Demi Lovato.
Okay.
John Cho.
Okay.
Okay. Abigail Breslin.
Speaking of someone that did a great job as she got older. Okay.
All right. Now this is a big one here. Okay.
All right.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. So here's our connector to the boys. He was the one that did several episodes.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan did.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And this is when he was on the show. I'm going to give you a little hint here.
Okay.
It was pre-Supernatural.
Pre-Supernatural. So that takes me out of The Walking Dead. Even though I wasn't thinking The Walking Dead with some of the co-stars, I was thinking Jeffrey Dean Morgan, maybe The Walking Dead. Okay.
Yeah. So we got we're just gonna give there's two more. I got Keke Palmer.
By the way, just to let you know, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is in The Boys this season.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so Keke Palmer.
So and then number one, Gina Davis. So Gina Davis. Keke Palmer.
Okay.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Abigail Breslin. John Cho. Demi Lovato. Mandy Moore. Christina Ricci. Alyssa Milano and Holly Marie Combs. And Millie Bobby Brown were all guest stars on the show.
Okay. Can I ask questions about the show?
You can absolutely go for it. Ask as many ask questions. Because there's one question that I bet you would get it if you ask.
Is this a show that is currently still on?
Yes.
Okay. Given that the majority of the guest stars you mentioned are women, is this a show that's really popular with a female audience?
Yes. Including Leia and my wife.
Is it a medical show?
Yes.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yes. Good job. Good job. Good job. Well,
I was thinking it had to be a police procedure with the guest stars. I'm like, but then I go, okay, is it still on? Because again, my head kept going to like the Law and Orders, and maybe the NYPD, like the fire and those things. I'm thinking. So then so the female, and when you gave me Leia and your wife, I'm like, I want to clarify, is it a medical show or not? And good job. How many seasons has there been of Grey's, by the way? Do you know ballpark?
I mean, like 347, I think.
I know it's on Netflix because occasionally, because Netflix used to suggest it to me regularly, and I think at this point I
Oh, you're froze. Anyway, Brian is frozen. That's okay. That's okay. If he comes back, we will pick back up. But with that being said, we're getting ready to close everything down. If you want to find me, friend me, follow me, you could do that at Facebook at Fandemic, TikTok at Nerd Positive One, Instagram at the Fandemic One. If you feel there's more of a conversation, feel free to reach out and let's talk. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next guest. Oh,
All right.
there you are.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you froze up on me.
Yeah, I lost connection for like 2 seconds, but where I stopped off was saying, when I would see it on Netflix, I would say like 200 plus episodes. So I know it's got to been on for over a decade.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when it came out, I think might have been when was in college and when it was all about McDreamy and all the things. All right. So that was a great. We should play that game a little more often. And
Awesome.
Did you like the same plot, new characters?
I loved it. That was great. Loved it.
Good. I've got an idea for next week as well. So with that, sir, are you ready for an honest ad?
Yes, bring it.
So, because we didn't record last week because of Father's Day, and happy Father's Day, my friend. Happy Father's Day to all the folks in the audience. While, by the way, I have a window open, so forgive the light shining under my face. I am not in the sixth sense. I am not in ghosts. I'm not ascending. It is just the light that's hitting on my face. But here we go. Here's my honest ad, though. Better late than never for Father's Day. Ugly ties, bad cologne. Covers we never put on our phones. Last minute gifts and homemade cards. Proof that your kids didn't try very hard. Father's Day is here. Same time every year. Surprise, surprise, it comes with little to no cheer. Unlike Mother's Day, where we plan, appreciate, shed joy and more, Father's Day feels less like a celebration and more like a chore. But it makes sense of the things we think about. Moms went through labor. Dads, we just didn't pull out. At the end of the day, fathers do actually matter. Life lessons and wisdom are contained in that senseless dad chatter. Now take a breath, hug your kids, and enjoy your time. Happy Father's Day across the world in this nerd positive rhyme.
Nice. Well done, Brian. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
All right, man. Where can we find Brian S. Dennis?
You can find me as always on the Book of Faces. Give me a like, give me a follow at Brian Stephen Dennis. And I will always keep it light, keep it occasionally weird. And I love to have folks that check me out on Facebook. So feel free to do that. What about you, tag team partner?
All right. If you want to support the show, there are several.
It sounded like you said yeet for a minute. I was going to give you your yeet flowers.
Yeet. If you want to support the show, there are several ways to do so. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/nerdpositive. You can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdpositive. Become an episode assistant, an episode producer, a pre-venge producer like Stacy, or yes, you could be part of the Council of Nerds at around $5 a month. You know what? Just go to PayPal or Venmo at Bradley Butin. I'm not going to say no.
Hey.
And you know what's most important, Brian? Share the show with someone you want to make a little more awesome. All right, man. I think we have hit max levels of awesome.
You buried that needle, sir.
How do we close every episode, my friend?
As always, thank you for joining me and my tag team partner on our Nerd Positive podcast. Remember, once you test positive for being nerd positive, you will never ever shake that shit. So with that being said, please remember to no retreat, no surrender, and Goonies, never say die.
Friendship is like peeing on yourself. Everyone can see it, but only you get the warm feeling that it brings. There will always be 2 reasons not to drink toilet water. Remember, number 1 and number 2. If you think about it, every time you feel stupid, you just got a little smarter.
Stop. I'm going to see you sign off, but stop. That is the best one. That is absolutely the best one. That is the king of kings. That is the Bush beer, or whatever it says at the King of Kings. That is my Benus Hunu, which you didn't say is Triple H because W is so much better. But that is the King of Kings sign-offs right there. So I want to make sure I gave absolute credit to that one. So hit me one more time, sir. What are 2 reasons why we don't drink toilet water?
Number 1 and number 2.
Yes, sir.
Squirrels' cheeks are also their nut sacks. Remember, don't let today end in a Y. Didn't I? Bye-bye.